D3PLOT envelope data. Envelope data refers to D3PLOT's ability to plot max, min, or peak absolute results across all time states from LS-DYNA results on an element-by-element basis, as shown here. In previous versions of D3PLOT, there were some limitations to the data enveloping functionality. You might have to wait a long time when calculating on large models with lots of output states. There would be a need to recalculate the same envelope in current and future D3PLOT sessions. It was difficult to track the envelope calculations that had been made within a single D3PLOT session, and difficult to extract the envelope values for further processing outside of D3PLOT. For version 22, we have addressed these limitations by adding the ability to write envelope data to file, and then retrieve and replot this data in future D3PLOT sessions. It is also now possible to map envelope data from one model onto another similar model, and there are more features planned for future software releases. In this demonstration, we have Model 1 in Window 1 containing shell elements, and Model 2 in Window 2 containing solid elements. We will set Model 1 to the Y-direct stress data component, and Model 2 will be von Mises stress. On the envelope panel, we click Calculate and Write, and results from each model are scanned and written to the respective directory of each analysis. We can also plot the envelope contours at this stage within the current session. Switching to Windows File Explorer, we can now see that there is a newly created envelopes.h5 file within each analysis directory. The size of the file depends on the number of elements within the model and the number of data components written. It is also now possible to write envelope data using batch mode. The first stage is to read the model into D3PLOT with one window per data component of interest and write out a settings file. Within a new Windows BAT file, the following command can be used to calculate envelope data for each data component within the previously written settings file, and then write them to an envelopes.h5 file within the corresponding analysis results directory. Scaling this up to multiple models simply involves replicating the same command, modified to point each line to a different analysis results directory. Note that results can be in either PTF or D3PLOT file format. Users can double-click on this batch file in a Windows environment to run these commands. Please be aware of one current limitation with this batch approach, whereby it will always envelope across all states because subsets of states are currently not saved to the settings file. In a brand new D3PLOT session, we have the same two models currently contoured with plastic strain. We can then go to the envelope menu and click on Retrieve from File. In File Explorer, we select the H5 file from the shell model directory, and we can see that the Y-direct stress component that we had previously written has now been populated as the row of this table. We can choose either Model 1 or Model 2 for mapping this envelope onto. When set as Model 2, you notice that the Apply button is grayed out, and we have a warning triangle to inform us of a mismatch of data between the original model and the model which we are requesting to map the data onto. We toggle back to Model 1. For Model 2, we can read in the H5 file that was written out for the solid model. Here we selected to write out von Mises stress, and this can be seen reflected in the Retrieve panel. We can choose to map the first envelope onto Model 1 and click Apply on the Retrieve panel to see the plot updated within the graphics window. And then map the second envelope onto Model 2. Again, clicking Apply on the Retrieve envelope panel, and this plot also updates in the second graphics window. We are also able to plot minimum value, or any of the 6 values that are automatically written when creating the envelopes.h5 file. And you can see these updated as we change the value to plot. In summary, In version 22, you can now write, retrieve, and replot envelope data. Further enhancements will be coming in future releases. Thank you.